Cops grab UCLA protester and throw her to the ground. Watch.
No racist police! No racist police! I just want to
Now, based on that, about 21-second clip, who's responsible for violence? Who's responsible for chaos? It's just a question I'm putting out there. I'll give you the rest. Per CNN, citing UCLA police, at least 25 people were arrested at UCLA on Monday after setting up pro-Palestinian encampments deemed unlawful by the UCLA PD. The encampments allegedly caused damage to a fountain. Do you know how much it costs to go to UCLA? A fountain. Brick walkways, fire safety equipment, patio furniture, electrical fixtures, and vehicles. Okay, if true, that's not okay. I can replace every bit of that at Costco. While protests spread at college campuses this spring denouncing Israel's handling of its war against Hamas in Gaza, UCLA's campus turned into a scene of brutality on April 30th, when violent counter-protesters attacked pro-Palestinian demonstrators. CNN analysts found that some of the most dramatic attacks caught on camera that night were committed by people outside UCLA, not the university students and faculty who were the ones eventually arrested. But on Monday, a group of about 100 people associated with a UCLA registered student organization set up an encampment at the top of the Jan steps. It was around 3:15 p.m. UCPD said the group resisted leaving the area after initial warnings, but left after UCPD issued multiple dispersal orders. Again, CNN with the reporting. Protesters relocated to the Kirchhoff patio, where they set up an unauthorized and unlawful encampment with tents and canopies and barricades with patio furniture, police said. The group also entered Moore Hall, disrupted nearby final exams, police said. Another round of dispersal orders led the group to the courtyard between Dodd Hall and the School of Law, where they set up a third encampment. UCLA Associate Professor Graham Blair, member of Faculty for Justice in Palestine, said one student went to a hospital after getting wounded by a rubber bullet, which Blair said was fired when students were in the camp near Dodd Hall. Los Angeles Times reported. Blair, who has participated in the protest, criticized authorities, saying students had been following dispersal orders throughout the evening. UC police representative declined to comment on the arrest or say whether less than lethal weapons were used, Times reported. UCLA police did not respond to CNN's request for comment Tuesday about the arrest and whether rubber bullets were used. Monday evening, 25 people were arrested around 8 p.m. for willful disruption of university operations, the police statement said. And that's the police statement. Those individuals were cited, issued a 14-day stay-away order from UCLA property, and then released. Now, the person was previously arrested during the setup of the first encampment for interfering with a police officer. That person was cited and released, UCPD said. About 150 protesters remained in the area as of 10:30 p.m. Monday. Now, I stress, Senator, police said this is the police statement because having done this thing called journalism for a number of years now, it often differs, the police statement, the police report, from what we'd come to learn later or see on cell phone footage and the like. I am disturbed by, and we don't know here, could find out at some point, college campuses, presidents calling the police on students. When I was growing up and learned about what college was about, freedom of expression, protest, encourage, controversial speech. Let's hear everybody out. Let's argue it. Let's debate it. But suddenly there's this crackdown and there's this media narrative that was fed out instantly. At least that's how I saw it. It didn't match some of the images. Oh, there was melee and chaos, and no, there wasn't. Didn't require for Eric Adams Police Department to climb in windows and ladders and all this nonsense. It didn't require that. And here on UCLA's campus, 25 people arrested. And I don't even like sometimes the way they frame it here. Pro-Palestinian. Sure, okay. Pro-Israel, sure. You have people who aren't really on anybody's side except humanity, who are saying, I can't see any more of these images of people dying. I cannot take it. That's not who we are. It's not human. But everybody in the media wants it to fit into these little boxes. And they're being fed it by surrogates and the like of certain places and people. But I just find it to be insufferable. It's really insufferable. You have parents, I'm taking my kid out of there, it's dangerous. No, it's not. Dangerous is what's going on in Gaza, particularly if you're brown right now. It's, I just wish that we could do the work ourselves and not be a USA Today society. Go ahead and look. Your eyes aren't lying to you. Am I wrong, Senator? Am I reducing this to something that it's not?
No, your journalism is spot on. It's cowards in suits deploying police, weaponizing police. I want folks to understand this. Now, the police themselves are law enforcement. They are responsible for how they comport themselves once they're on the scene. But make no mistake, whether that coward is wearing a suit in the president's office at these universities, or whether it's an elected official, or whether it's on the federal level, it don't matter to me. They cowards weaponizing police officers against pro-peace protesters exercising their First Amendment rights. Now, if property is being destroyed and if final exams were disrupted, that's wrong all day long. We can deal with that without roughing up folks. We can deal with that. That can be dealt with. But the way they are treating these people who, Sharon, as you laid out so succinctly and so perfectly, that these folks are standing up for justice. They are standing up as humanitarians, period. To say that we don't want to see no more of this and we're going to exercise our right. It's the same thing that the Vietnam generation did when Americans got together and said, we don't want to see any more of this. We don't like it. We don't want our tax dollars used this way. And people rise up. It is their right to do. Now, that video footage that we saw with the young lady with the bullhorn calling police racist. Now, you might not like what she said. Okay? Got it. But that's not the prerequisite for the job.
That's right.
Police are there to protect and serve. And they are even there to protect and serve. I got a news flash. They are there to protect and serve the pro-peace side of this too. And they had no right, that officer had no right to put his hands on that woman, even if he or she, I think it was a man, even if he did not like what she was saying. Because that ain't the thing, bruh. She has a right to say. People don't understand that. Folks have a right as long as it doesn't infringe on your personal body and property.
Well, some folks do. Jews will not replace us in Charlottesville. Right. They had a right. They had a right.
But you know where I mean, this,
sure.
and
no, you're right.
The police should be ashamed.
Either we
and those officers should have got their colleague off of her.
Yep. Protect the peace, protect and serve everybody. You're right.
Protect and serve everybody.
And it just seems that, and the reason, Senator, I point to some kind of higher up meddling with the messaging and all of it. You know, you had the Northwestern president who made a deal with protesters, keep the peace. And he said, you know, we should divest Sonoma State. So you got the Northwestern president who's now having to still defend himself. Sonoma State suddenly retired that president after he made a deal with protesters. Hey, and I remember the footage. Stood out there and it was calm and he said, you know, you make a point and this is what we can do this. You actually are right. You educated us. Suddenly out the door. Suddenly out the door. There is no more free speech. There's only what we say it is, apparently. And the louder side, the disinformation, which is different from misinformation. I'll give you the last word, Senator. Maybe I've gone too far. Maybe.
You have not. Fascism appears in many forms. I want to say to our viewers, study to show yourself approved. Just keep studying, reading, dig. And, Toni Morrison once said, and I had the opportunity to use this quote at a speech I gave this weekend in Lorain County, where she is from. The function of freedom is to free somebody else. I want us to wrap our minds around that shit. I'm not even, the function of freedom per Toni Morrison, one of the greatest 20th century novelists, the function of freedom is to free somebody else.
Started out teaching us, and at the end, you're still teaching us. There it is.